Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to review round one fully, comprehensively, heat maps, everything. We're going to talk about our team. We're going to go through the whole lot. Okay, now, as you can see here, the Spuds were on show this week, and the Spuds didn't let down because they played like Spuds, just coming down. Now, to start off the season, we're ranked 13,175. Okay, now we scored a 2177, which is a top 8% score. To be honest, I'm not that upset with that because there are a few factors, a few players that we didn't have that others had, like Smith, okay? And if I virtually had Smith, the massive difference in score, so we're going to fix that problem anyway, so that's not the problem. But the thing is, we have a few changes to make. The structure is solid. We're happy with the structure, just not happy with the personnel in that structure. So let's go for the team now. What have we done to our team? Let's have a look. Now, we go to the back line, okay? Now, Sheasels and Stewart, we're sort of happy with them, okay? I'm not sure Stewart's going to be a top 6 defender at the end of the year, but then again, you look at some other players, he's probably ahead of a few of them. He's probably ahead of NWM. He may even be ahead of Sinclair, okay? So he's probably ahead of, who else is there in defence? There's actually quite a few that he's ahead of, okay? Well, we saw Ryan. He was not good. So he's probably ahead of Ryan as well. So maybe Stewart can finish top 6, okay? So we're just happy with Stewart for now. He has a good role. It just didn't play it that well. He has a midfield role, but didn't get many touches in the midfield. So I'll go through all that in a minute. But he's defensively, he took the intercept marks as usual. Wasn't getting scored big points for him for some reason, so we're going to find out what's wrong with the scoring, because for some reason, every time Smith touched the ball, he just got points. He just looked at it and they were giving him points. It was nuts. Short, I'm not sold on. I got doubts. I'm going to hold him for another week, but he's doing my head in right now. Perryman is going to go, okay? So Perryman is a finito, is a Gonski, okay? So Perryman's going to go. We're happy with Ed Richards, happy with Rosie. I like Will Day, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, okay? He scored a 77. He got tagged. I still like him, okay? I like his role, okay? But the only problem is he doesn't like tags. He plays Carlton this week, okay? We're going to keep him for another week, okay? We're going to keep him. Has Carlton this week, and then the following week, we may have to sack him, okay? Because then he has the tag from GWS. But then again, I might still keep him. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Will Day yet. I'm going to find out. Oliver, on the other hand, I prefer to keep Will Day than Oliver, okay? One has to go, okay? Because we're going to have to bring in a big gun, okay? And we're going to talk about that big gun in another program. But I think Oliver is the one that's going to go from my team, not Day. Oliver owned by too many people, okay? So, but Oliver doesn't have a buy. Day does. So there's another conflict of interest here. But anyway, I have to think about this because maybe Short can go. Maybe Oliver can stay. So I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm very confusion right now. Just come down. And then you go to the rest of the team. Okay, now, Chera, he looked okay. He looked decent. Callahan, very happy with. Okay, very happy with him. Okay, Callahan, no problem. Okay, now he's a good boy. Nevitt we like. Camperelli we like. Actually, all these rookies, I like them. Okay, I got Hasty. I like him. I got actually, we didn't go to the top part. We'll go to them in a minute. Okay, I got Hanley. All right, I brought him in for one reason. Okay, and that was to make a quick 30k cash. Well, it was actually 80k, but I miscalculated. But it doesn't matter because there are players ahead of him. So Hanley is at 120k. All right, if he scores, he's at -7 break even. So if he scores another, let's say a 50. He makes another, say, 15k. Is that right? No, it's 25k. He makes about 25k if he scores a 50. So that 25k on top of his 119 makes it easier to grab a Lindsay, who I'm going to replace Hanley with. Okay, so Hanley's going to go out. Lindsay's going to come in. Okay, so that's the plan with Hanley. I might have to put an extra 20k on top or 15k, whatever. But actually worked out well for me, the Hanley trade. Payton, the same thing. Okay, now Payton, what's his break even? Minus 36. I might actually trade out Payton if I need some quick cash. This gives me possibly a bias. Okay, so if Payton scores a 50, because job security doesn't look that solid, I might just cash out on him early, take bias, and use that cash to then bring in possibly, who can we trade out? We've got. I actually like all these rookies. They're all going to make money, so I don't know which one to trade out. I actually liked Henderson as well. So look at Henderson. Okay, he scored a 55. All right, if Henderson scores 55 every single week, which just doesn't sound like much. Okay, but if he scores a 55 every week, what happens? Let's have a look. Okay, once the app starts working, we're going to find out. Okay, Henderson every week a 55. What happens? Let's have a look at the projection. By the time we get to round 7, all right, he's up to 240k, all right, 250k by round 8, plays West Coast. So he's made 150k, even above 150k. So Henderson, I don't mind him, okay? So he's actually okay, even over 55s. So I might not have to bring in the O'Driscolls, who are going to also make 150 to 200k, but I don't need them because I've got stronger depth in that midfield. So I may actually pass on O'Driscoll and might even pass on Ashcroft. Okay, that's big news. Okay, so these are the things I'm considering right now, because if these players are making the same thing, it doesn't matter. However, Hanley, I really like Lindsay at his price, so I'd rather get rid of Hanley for Lindsay. Okay, that's the only trade probably going to make it with the rookies. Armstrong will go as well. Okay, because Armstrong will become what's his name? Okay, he's going to become the Smith boy. So Armstrong will go for Smith. But these are some options for now. What else did we or did we not like? Well, Flynn. Okay, now I brought him in for a reason, and that was pretty much to be a placeholder and to bring in the other players. I might actually still keep him. Okay, so I'm not sure. I don't know what I want to do for him. I'm going to hold him for another week maybe. He's got a tough game this week. Okay, at flex. Okay, I want to see if he loses that rule. Once he loses that M1 spot, I'm going to get rid of him. Okay, but at the moment, he's going to have easier matchups. Okay, so he's going to play the Lions. That's a tough game. Okay, then he plays Freo. That's an easier game. He plays GWS. He'll do well against them because he was from GWS, so he's going to play well against Briggs. As Carlton should do well against them, but against Essendon he may struggle because we saw how Hawthorn went against Essendon, okay? Meek didn't do well against Essendon, so he may struggle against them. But besides that, I may actually hold him, so I'll see how I go. But the structure, okay, is what I want to talk about, okay? And the structure that I've got is solid. Only 2 rookies on field in the midfield, 1 rookie in defence, okay? It might go to 2 now, okay? And I've got 2 rookies in a forward line, that might go to 1. So I'm going to switch 1 rookie out of here and make it 2 rookies here because the scoring potential of these forwards rookies is not good. Okay, except for Johnson, who's got a 60. So we're happy with Johnson. Gonna have to put him on field, but the rest of them not scoring. So there's a problem there. But I'll go through all the ins and outs and possible trades in another video. Okay, because today it's about what we're gonna do is review all the week's games, and we're going to go through everything. We're going to analyse the whole thing. Now, first up, with our reviews, we're going to start from the top. Talk about the Mighty Tigers, okay? The Premiership favourites. We're going to talk about them just coming down. Okay, now, this was a shock, a massive shock, a boil-over. Probably the biggest boil-over I've ever seen. Okay, now, especially from 41 points down. A team that was 10-1 losing. 41 points. They were paying $1.05. No, what was it? $10. I can't remember what it was. It was huge. I've never seen odds this big. And I wonder what they were paying at 41 points down. The odds might have been 100-1. I don't know what it was. Who would have backed him? No one. So, Nank the Tank. Now, he had 35 hitouts. Okay, that's decent. The only problem with Nank the Tank on this game, they've got two sites here. Nank the Tank had 7 clangers, okay? Now, that's a problem. Now, that was 8 clangers. They must have changed one clanger but didn't add it to his points. So something is wrong here, okay? Now, he's kicked 2 goals with 7 clangers, 13 contested possessions, 6 free kicks against, and he has 5 free kicks against. Did they score extra points to Nank? Okay, I'm sure he was on 1-4. No, they gave him extra 4 points. He was on 110 and it's 114, so they have fixed it. Okay, so that's good. It's a good thing. So take away the 7 clangers. Usually Ruckman give away 2 free kicks. So let's say it's 5 clangers. That's an extra 20 points. That's a 134 game. All right. He had 21 touches. That's low on his behalf. Let's have a look at his scoring. Okay, let's have a look at Nank. Nank normally gets more than 20 touches. Now, the reason that I brought in Nank was because I thought he was going to go in defence, take a lot of intercept marks. The problem is, Richmond was supposed to lose, okay, but they won. Okay, so this was a weird game. Now, let's go to Nank. 85% time on ground. Okay, let's go to his heat maps. And you can see here, he didn't drop back to the defence. This is where I thought he'd take all his marks in defence. He was actually around the middle where he got all his touches, not in defence. I think 4 marks in defence, and that's it. So it was actually an unexpected game from Nank. So he still scored okay, but it wasn't the game that I was expecting. Okay, so there was a weird game from him. Now, the player that I want to really talk about is Jack Ross. Okay, 28 touches, 2 goals. Now, Jack Ross in the past. Okay, let's have a look at Jack Ross. Now, is he a possible Supercoach gun? Okay, now is it possible that Jack Ross could be the one? Let's have a look now. Jack Ross, his best ever in the VFL. Okay, he had 27. Okay, he had 28 in this game. He had 27 in the VFL. Look at his VFL games. 29, 22, 29, 34, 26. So in the VFL, he has done okay. You can see here, 22, 31. So he does do good in the VFL. It's just that when he comes to the AFL, he's never done this well. However, his role has changed. Okay, now in this game here, okay, have a look at his heat map, and it's pretty much everywhere. Okay, he reminds me. Who does he remind me of? Okay, at Richmond. Actually, Craig Lambert is the player that I'm thinking about. He reminds me of Craig Lambert. Now, last year, okay, he scored 34, 49, 80. But this game here, 101, right, round 4. Okay, let's have a look. Where did he play in this game in round 4 last year? And why did he get dropped? Okay, what happened to him? He scored a 101 and they dropped him. Okay, he scored the 34s. I loved him. Okay, now let's work this out. Last year, round 4. What happened? Okay, now let's go over here. Now, where is he? Round 4. Okay, so last year, round 4, he scored that 101. Before we look at this, let's have a look at the round 3, 2. Let's look at these games, okay? Well, he was a sub this game. Scored a 49. This is round 1 against Carlton last year, okay? That's his game last year, okay? That's his game this year, okay? There's a big difference in the game. So it looks like a wing role last year. He's a changed man this year. So what happened? What did he do in this 100 game? He had no goals, so that's a good thing. Okay, no goals. So we want to see what he did in this 100-point game. Looks more like a similar role to what he had this week. You can see here, very similar. So that's his 100-point game. Then he got dropped. Why did he get dropped? Okay, now, scored the 100. Where is it? 100. Okay, but he probably got injured because they didn't play again until there was no VFL game. So he obviously got injured. Had 80% time on ground, got injured. That's why he got dropped. Went at 1.06 points per minute. This time he's gone 1.29 points per minute. Jack Ross, we're going to keep on our watch list, I think. We don't get him in this week, forget it, okay? It's not going to happen. But you're going to have to watch him again because Jack Ross, if he's going to score you 100s what's his price, okay? Have a look at this. At the price of, where is his price? 310k. If he scores you 100s, he's a bigger must-have than O'Driscoll's and the Ashcrofts, okay, that is going to go at around about 80, okay, because you're paying 100k more, okay, but you are getting something for 100 points, so it's actually worth it. So he's a player that's going to be in our watch list. Well, the only problem is with Jack Ross is he only had 13% CBA, so he's possibly still on a wing role, but he's a wing role that plays everywhere, so it's an unusual role. We're going to watch him again, okay? So I don't think 13% is enough. Now, I want to get a Sam Lalor here. Lalor, okay? He only had 8% CBAs. That's not much, okay? So it didn't do me. I think that's only 2 CBAs he had. 8% will equate to about 2. Yeah, that's a worrying sign, actually, because if you look at Lalor's heat map, okay, even though he scored well, played really well, he's more of a forward. So you're paying 205k for a forward. That's what you're getting, okay, because 2 CBAs isn't much. So you can see here, his heat map's all on the forward line, but boy, did he dominate this forward line. So, and Carlton's defence is pretty strong, and they were fumbling a lot. So maybe the first game of the year, everyone's rusty, okay? That's the only excuse I could come up with. But Lalor, he looked very decent. If he was 170k, 160k, I'd instantly grab him. Just the price at 205k, I can't do it. I can't do it to myself because, you know, I'm a tight ass, okay? I can't afford cash. Just coming down. I want to talk about Jayden Short now. I have a big issue here, okay? Now, Jayden Short had 7 kick-ins. We're happy with that. That's not a problem, okay? So 7 kick-ins is a good thing. We're very happy with 7 kick-ins. We knew he was going to share the kick-ins amongst possibly 2 to 3 players, and he did that. But he had the majority. So that's a good thing, okay? The heat map is not a good thing, okay? Because he had 7 kick-ins. And that's the rest of his touches. How many touches did he have for the whole game? Okay, let's go to Jayden Short. Let's go over here. He had 16 kicks, but 7 were kick-ins. So he really only had another 9 kicks and 3 handballs for the rest of the game. Even in the first half, when they were getting pounded, okay, that's still not enough. That's 12 touches. And mind you, he had touches in the second half as well. So I'm not impressed. We've got here 7 kick-ins. I'm not impressed. Okay, 91% time on ground, scoring at 0.71 points per second. He was actually scoring better last year at 1.04. And last year we didn't like his point scoring. I mean, Supercoach point. All these are fantasy points. Where's his Supercoach points? Get over here, Supercoach. Okay, maybe he scored more now, okay? Well, it's actually scored worse. It's at 0.69 points per second. That's disaster. 0.64 last year. He had some bigger games. I didn't like him, okay? I've got him in my team. I said I said from the start, okay, I said he's a trap. He's a con artist, and he conned us all in because it's the same thing. Nothing has changed with Jayden Short. We're getting the same Jayden Short, okay? I think from my team now, after seeing this, he's the first to go. He's going to leave. Okay, we're going to talk about Perryman next. So Jayden Short is a Gonski. He's a no good for me. He's finished. Finito. So let's get back to the game. Okay, so 19 kicks and 7 of those were kick-ins is a no good. So only 12 disposals for a whole game in halfback. 12. Okay, that's disgraceful. It's not enough for a super coach player that we're expecting to go at 110 to be a keeper. He's not going to do it. It's near impossible. So I'm going to pass on Short. Now, because at Richmond, they've got too many players in that back line taking kicks. You can see here, Banks, okay, had 21. Banks had 21 disposals with no kick-ins at halfback. Have a look at this, Banks. Okay, Banks, where is it? Have a look at Banks's heat map. Okay, now, how does actually Banks play on the wing? Okay, well, Banks played on the wing. All right, so let's not include Banks then, okay? Now, take Banks out. Who has played halfback? We had Trainer. He had 15 kicks, 15 disposals, 1 kick in. So he had 14. Trainer had more disposals than Short if you take Short's kick-ins out. So for me, Trainer at 15 disposals, he went at a poor disposal efficiency. Where's his? Let's have a look. Trainer. He only scored 50 points. It might not sound like much, okay? It sounded terrible. Where was it? 50 Supercoach points. However, he went at 67%, made a few little mistakes. That 50 Supercoach points could easily be 70 to 80 with Trainer. The first game's out the way. He looked really good, okay? I liked his game more than I liked Short's game. Pure halfback. Okay, you can see here, not as many touches, possibly because the ball did come a lot on this side a lot as well because Richmond won the game. So when Richmond lose games, Trainer gets more touches. That's how I see it. You think the same with Short as well, but I'm just not sold on Short. Now we go to our next player, okay, at Richmond. That we talked about Lalo, we talked about Trainer. The next player, Supercoach relevant, is Tom Lynch. And now Tom Lynch, what did he do? Okay, how many Supercoach points? 61. Actually, I'm surprised he scored that many because kicked one goal, 13 disposals. Well, he got suspended as well, so he couldn't miss a game. Actually, it's not a bad game for Lynch considering he did nothing, so that's actually not bad. Which then goes on to my next player, Harry Armstrong. The problem with Armstrong is he only had 5 touches. He did a lot of the 1%ers, but it's not enough to earn your Supercoach points. He earned 38 of them. He's not going to make a lot of fast cash. I think if anyone has to go from your teams, it's going to have to be Armstrong out of the team. So, although he did impress a lot, I don't think he's going to be Supercoach relevant. And Blight, some people have Blight in their teams. He got injured, so unfortunately, young man, I'm not sure how bad the injury is, but may have to take him out of your teams as well. Now, I want to talk about Carlton. Okay, there's a young man at the top here, Tom de Koning. Okay, I never wanted to pick de Koning from the start because we have what they call Pitanet in the team that was a worry. And I also knew that de Koning not a great ruckman. Okay, as in hitouts. Okay, and you can see here he had 30 hitouts, but actually has improved his ruck work. So I take that back about what I thought about his ruck work because actually it's now unbelievable. Okay, he looks like who can I compare him to? Probably if you compare him to a player currently playing in the AFL right now, I'd say Jackson. The way he jumps up. Okay, probably a Luke Jackson type, but better than Luke Jackson. With full-time ruck role. So the Koning, 30 hitouts. 28 disposals. Now, if you go through the highest disposals, Cripps had 32, de Koning had 28. His disposal efficiency may be a problem. Let's have a look at his disposal efficiency. Disposal efficiency. And usually they're pretty bad for a ruckman, but he's at 60. It's not too bad for a ruckman at 60%. You can see here, throughout his career, it's usually 50s, 40s, 60s. So 60 is all you're going to get, okay? But 28 touches, you don't get that. A ruckman, he's had a 25 game as well. 25 touches against Geelong. He's got a 176 that game. If we're going to see 28 touches from de Koning every week, he's going to average 150. So you won't see this every week. But you will see games where he has 24 touches maybe 20 touches. Still 130s. I think de Koning is right now... depending on Pitonet, okay, probably the biggest must-have ruckman of all the ruckmen. He scored more than Gawn, and Gawn played against a Spud, okay. The Koning played against Nank. Nank is easy to score against, but still a tough ruckman. The Koning went nuts. Actually, and so did Nank. They both had a good game. But the Koning, if you look at his heat map, he's everywhere. Boundary throw-ins, centre bounce. He goes to full back, goes to full forward, more centre bounces. These will be boundary line throw-ins, I'd say, but it's just the touches he gets. He's in the play all the time, similar to his brother Sam de Koning, which I'm going to talk about soon. Now we go to CBAs. Okay, now Adam Chera only had 54% CBAs. Hewitt and Cripps were the main two. Then you got Sam Walsh, 38%, and then Cooper Lord 29%, and Cooper Lord got subbed out. Doherty, when he came back on, had 17% CBAs, but we'll talk about Doherty soon. But with Adam Cerra, I expected more CBAs, to be honest. So 54 wasn't a lot. Where did he play? Let's have a look. He was scoring at 0.97 points per minute. Okay, that's still okay. Looks like he had played more along the wings than. See, there's not many touches in the middle. Okay, a lot of his touches were on the wings, and for Carlton, that's a good thing because a lot of Carlton players, when they get the ball, touch it along the wings. So for Carlton, it's not a bad thing. They don't usually go straight down the guts. Okay, they usually play along the boundary lines. Carlton, they take the long way home. Okay, that's what Carlton do. They play around with the ball a lot. However, Cerra, by looking at this, was more a wingman than he was a midfielder, but he was actually a midfielder that played on the wing. So it was a bit of both for Cerra. I can't see him going 130s, big scores, 140. I don't see it, okay? I think Cerra, if you go by his disposals, okay, we'll go back to Cerra. He had 26 touches. That's not a lot. I mean, the Ruckman had more, okay? He's not going to be one of these 35 to 40 touch players. And he played against Richmond, okay? He didn't play against a good team. Still only had 26 touches. It's actually a worry with Cerra. I can actually say that. So we'll get to see more of him because the whole Carlton midfield was a worry. I mean, if you go back over here to live scoring, all right, if you don't have Cerra, I wouldn't rush to bring him in. I'll put it that way. But if you got Cerra, you're going to hold him, okay? So still going to make cash, but I wouldn't rush and break the bank to bring in Cerra. But go back over here. If you go to Carlton's midfield, I mean, Cripps is Cripps, okay? So Cripps does Cripps things. Scored 120. Cerra the 100, or 106, I think it was. If you go further down, Walsh only scored 81, but as you saw, didn't have many CBAs. Lord scored the 56, and Hewitt was the other CBA player, scored the 94. So even Hewitt didn't do well. So the whole Carlton team wasn't no good. Okay, now Ollie Hollands is a no good 79 Supercoach points. Even fantasy wise, he didn't do well. Okay, where is it? 72. So Hollands is a no good. We go further down. The player that was sort of half decent was Silvani, but where did he play? Okay, he scored 100 points. He's 250k. I wouldn't bring him in either. Okay, I wouldn't rush to bring him in. What did Silvani do? Let's have a look at his heat maps. It says back pocket. Okay, let's have a look. He played back pocket. Then he moved to the forward line, kicked a goal. Probably got some points for that goal. I wouldn't rush to bring in Silvani as well. Now, in regards to Doherty, scored the 67. That's in one quarter. I want to say Doherty again, but I'm not sure. Now it's not time now to bring in the mid prices. Okay, now because you start them, you don't bring them in. Okay, so I would. Well, you do bring them in if they're crazy good. Okay, so like Smith, but I'd want to see Doherty. He's an old man. Okay, so I wouldn't rush to bring in Doherty. That's about it. Well, we've got the rookie here, Camporeale. Okay, now Camporeale, 20 disposals. He looked really good. Okay, really, really good. The only problem with Camporeale, as you can see here, there's a 20-point difference between fantasy and Supercoach. That's because of his disposal efficiency. He sort of hacked it a little bit. Okay, now if we go down his, where is it? Okay, in SANFL, okay, SANFL, you can see here, he's had 19 disposals there. He's had 22, 31, 27, 30. He gets a lot of touches. So 20 disposals for him was normal. The problem was his disposal efficiency at 50%. Get that up to about 65 for a winger, even 70. And you're looking at Camporeale as one of the best rookies this year. So I really liked Camporeale. We're now going to go to the Hawthorn and Essendon game. Okay, now this is the big one. Now, what we're going to talk about here is CBAs first. Okay, now there's a bit of change in the CBAs. Meek the same, Newcomb the same, Connor Nash the same, or sort of dropped a bit. Mackenzie went up to 70%. Okay, now that's interesting. And because Walpole is out, so Mackenzie went up. We're going to have a look at Mackenzie in a minute. So Mackenzie has replaced Walpole. Now, if you have a look, where's Walpole in round one? Walpole had 45%. So, which also made Will Day spend more time in the middle. So Will Day had more midfield time, okay, and Walpole had the midfield time. Connor Nash sort of dropped out, but Will Day scored less, okay, with more CBAs. If we go to Will Day, right, go to Will Day. Good thing about Will Day is he had 70% CBAs, or 73%, and he had 81% time on ground. So 8% of his time on ground was actually in the forward line, which is a good thing as well. So instead of getting 75%, he spent an extra 8% in the forward line. The only problem is he got tagged badly, okay? So the previous week had 26 touches. This week had 16. That's 10 less touches and one goal. So everything went against him. Now, in previous seasons, okay, or last season, okay, when he was going nuts, okay, 130s, 100s, let's have a look. He's never been a high possession player, okay? Have a look, 26, 24, 18, 26, 20, 20. So he doesn't get a lot of touches. So he's more an impact player. He's possibly no good for fantasy, but very good for Supercoach. But it worries me, okay? I didn't realize that he didn't get many touches. I didn't take notes, okay? So here's one player that actually worries me now. Has a bye coming up, has another tag coming up, and he's going to play against Carlton. If I'm going to remove a player out of my team in that midfield, who's it going to be? Now let's go to our team, all right? Who am I going to take out? Okay, it's not going to be Richards, because if I'm going to bring in a gun, okay, let's say I want to bring in a 600k player, who's going to go out? Okay, now it won't be Richards or Rosie, or Chera or Callahan. It's either going to be Will Day or Oliver. Everyone owns Oliver. Oliver has no buy. Will Day has a buy and has a tag coming. I've got a feeling that Will Day is the one that I have to get rid of for this reason. Not because he can't score 120s, but because his ceiling, even though I misread it last week, okay? I saw the game, scored the 148 points, kicked the 3 goals, had 6 free kicks, 4. I assumed he got more time on ground, so everything works fine. The only problem has been his touches. He's not getting as many touches. Maybe with the extra time on ground, he'll get another 2 or 3 touches, but still not enough. You need that 30 to 35 touches to consistently have a massive ceiling to be a top Lachie Neale type player. He's not going to be that. So, for that reason, I'm a bit hesitant on him. Okay, so that's one player. He makes me scary. Okay, and what happened to the scores here? Okay, Supercoach. Okay, get over here. Yeah, so he makes me a bit scary right now. The sick dog, 109 Supercoach points. He's a gamble regardless, because we know he's going to have role changes. I don't know he's going to be a top 6. He had 24 disposals, had a lot of kick-ins. Actually, let's go to the kick-ins. So he had 5 kick-ins. So he got 20 points from his kick-ins. Amon and Battle shared out the other 2, and Hardwick had 1. Okay, then Hardwick got injured, so or suspended as well. He will be anyway. So sick dog in defence is a good thing. However, if you go Supercoach, have a look at his heat map. Let's compare the 2 heat maps from last week and this week, all right? Last week, he scored 92 points. Okay, where did he play last week? Okay, we don't know where he played last week, okay? It doesn't tell us where he played last week. He played everywhere, okay? That was last week. This week, where did he play? Purely change of role. Purely in defence, okay? So this week is a good role for the sick dog. Last week was a bad role for the sick dog. We don't know which role we're going to get out of him. This role gave him 92 points. This role gave him 100 and something, but 92 points not enough. Even the 106 is not enough. If you want to compare him to these players like Whitfield and Zorko, the magnificent, they're going 130s. Sheasels is another one in there, so I'm not sold on the sick dog. Dylan Moore kicked the 3 goals, scored the 94 Supercoach points. He's going to be up and down, okay? So we're going to grab Dylan Moore when he's down. Or he's going to have games where he scores 60s. That's when we grab Dylan Moore, okay? So don't rush on Dylan Moore. Connor McDonald, even though he had midfield minutes, scored the 104 Supercoach points, only 23 touches, okay? That's still not enough for a midfielder. What worries me at Hawthorn is they don't get a lot of the ball, okay? You saw here, Newcomb, 25 touches. McDonald, 23 touches. It's a good team. They play a different style of game, okay? So they play a fast game. Like, they don't play a possessive game. So I'm not sure if they're all Supercoach relevant, is what I'm trying to say, because they're gonna be up and down. They're not gonna be consistent. So I'm pretty much passing on all the Hawthorn players. Okay, there's no one here that I can have in my team besides Will Day, and I'm even scared of having him now. Okay, makes me scared. So even their Ruckman, where is he? Okay, let's go to their Ruckman. What happened with their Ruckman? Meek, 11 disposals. You need to have a lot more disposals than 11 for a Ruckman. We saw TDK 28. Well, there's a big difference, 28 and 11. In previous years, okay. Well, see, you can see here, he's had 23 touches against the Dogs. In that game, he scored a 127. Ruckman, even though they have hitouts, they also need disposals. See, a 14 disposal game gave him 126, because in this game, it's a very good game, 14 disposals. Where's the hitouts? I can't find them. Hitouts. He had 30, so I don't understand, okay? He had 14 disposals, 30 hitouts at 71%. Well, his 11 disposal went at 36%. That explains it, okay? Disposal efficiency, he just hacked it. So that's why the drop of Supercoach points. So maybe once it gets to about 70, these points go up to about 100, 110. So don't panic with Meek, okay? Don't panic right now. Just calm it down. Now, let's skip Hawthorn, okay? And let's now go to the Bombers. Now, at the Bombers, okay, now Caldwell, we can't bring him in our team. So look at this, 36. This is what I like about midfielders. They have 36 touches. This is what I want to see. Okay, midfielders, they can touch the ball so many times. So 36 touches, 129 Supercoach points. Okay, Nick Martin, you can see here, 24 touches. Sometimes not enough. They gave you a 74. Zach Merritt was the interesting one. 2 goals for 89. What did he do wrong? Okay, what did Zach Merritt do wrong? The problem for Zach Merritt is the CBAs. Okay, now you see here, Zach Merritt had 55% CBAs. Durham had 55. Durham was tagging Day. Okay, so Day had 55% of Durham's CBAs was a tag on Day. Merritt 55%. Tassatsis, he had 61% CBAs. Okay, he had nearly most of the CBAs besides Caldwell. Merritt with 55 is a worry. I want to see Merritt with 80 and not 55. I wouldn't want to start Merritt or have Merritt in my team if he has 55. Now, if you own Merritt, don't trade him out. Okay, you got to hold him. Maybe this increases now because maybe Tassatsis. Tatsiski or Spuds, whatever they call these things. Maybe is no good. Maybe gets dropped, and then maybe Merritt's CBAs increase. So just wait, okay? Don't panic just yet. However, we're just trying to analyze now what happened with Merritt. Okay, that's the whole thing now. Where did he play? All right, let's have a look. Because Merritt in the past is a player that can have either 37 touches, okay, and score a 135. 32 touches, score a 145, or have 17 touches and score 74. In this game, he had 26 touches, but with his 26 touches at 58%, he's got 2 goals in there and still didn't score. So he played Where did he play? He played in a forward line. I thought he played more in defence. Okay, it looks like he played more in the forward line. This actually shocked me more. Okay, because I thought Zach Merritt is more of a defensive role. It looks like more of a forward role. Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, maybe we'll get him as a forward. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here with Zach Merritt. Because if you look at Zach Merritt's heat maps last year, all right, this is Zach Merritt last year, round 24 against Brisbane Lions. That's Zach Merritt's heat map. That's what it should look like. This year, it looks like this. Okay, there's something wrong. It doesn't look right. I don't know what the coach is doing. This is ridiculous. Okay, their best player, they put him away from the ball. It makes no sense. Now going further down. Okay, who else is of interest here? Supercoach related. We got Zach Reed scored these. Where is it? 50 Supercoach. What is it? 45 Supercoach points. But we don't have. We say beggars can't be choosers when we play Supercoach, and we don't have many options. So we're going to have to keep Zach Reed and just hope he gets better, because now that Ridley is out, maybe he has a bit more action. Pryor is a bit more expensive, so at his price, that's a poor score of 50. Okay, and he didn't look that good. Okay, so at least Zach Reed looked half decent, but Pryor, I don't know. Okay, he didn't look that good. Tasatsis. Okay, 50 super coach points, time on ground, 57%. Disposal efficiency, let's have a look at it. Okay, Tasatsis. How good was his disposals? Let's get over here. Disposal, actually, it's surprising. 72%. That's not bad. If you trade him out, okay, if you're going to do a correction trade and trade him out, what happens if he scores 100 this week? You're going to be very upset. With Tasatsis, I'd wait another week and then get rid of him, okay? Because 57% time on ground is not much. See what his role is. If he's a sub, forget it. Get rid of him, okay? So it's a tough call with Tasatsis because 72% time on ground, 18 disposals is still okay. We saw Will Day have 26 disposals for the whole game. So 18 is still okay. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Okay, with the Tasatsis, points per minute, 0.67. Even points per minute is low. Okay, because time on ground 57, but he's not scoring even with his even with his 18 disposals. He's actually not scoring. Now that is a problem. So if that went to 80% time on ground, he's still not going to score much because of his points per minute. Anyway, something to think about. Now Kako is another one. Okay, he's 148k. He scored a 60. That's decent. Okay, so we're happy. Kako looked lively. Okay, and 14 disposals, 2 marks. Where's his tackles? It doesn't show. Okay, but anyway, he looked good. Okay, so I'm not sure you can field him. Okay, because he's going to have kick the goal. Without the goal, he's supposed to kick a goal, right? He's a forward, but if he doesn't kick a goal, he's going to go in about 40s to 50s. So that's the only problem. Kicks a few goals, he'll go a lot better. And that's pretty much it at Essendon. I mean, you're not going to worry about Draper, and you're not going to worry about other players. So, and we know that Draper, where is he? 103 points. No one's going to pick him up. Okay, so the only problem here is Zach Merritt. Now we go to the Geelong and Freo game. This game was very disappointing for the Freo supporters. I wasn't expecting this. Okay, this blew me away. I couldn't believe it. Now, this was a shellacking. No one saw this coming. Now, let's talk about Bailey Smith. Okay, before we go to Bailey Smith, let's go to CBAs. Okay, now at Geelong, CBAs, Tom Stewart had 50% CBAs. Okay, that's massive. Okay, now Bailey Smith had 26%. That's not much. Danger had 21%. Tom Atkins had 65. Max Holmes 62. So Bailey Smith, where did he play? Okay, let's have a look. Bailey Smith, he didn't play as a CBA player. Okay, so he got his points, and this is what I expected. I didn't expect him to have many CBAs, and he got what I expected him to have. He had 32 disposals. at 72%. That's massive for Smith, okay? Smith is a 60s man, okay? You can see here 50s, 60s. He had 5 tackles, okay? That's pretty much average for him, okay? 5 marks, that's pretty common for him. Freeze 4-1, 1 goal, 1 behind. 29% CBAs, time on ground 80%. That's the norm, okay? Having these exact same stats, 32, or if it has 20 disposals, he's going at these scores, 70, 50, 50, 50, okay? 32 disposals, 147. I mean, I think that's overs, okay? I don't know how he got that many. Probably some goal assist, okay? But Smith was on the wing. That's where he played, on the wing. At Geelong, okay, the wings are narrow, which means Smith gets more involved around the ball as well. When Smith plays away, okay, and now where's Smith playing this week? Let's have a look. Who's playing this week? Okay, I can't even see it. Well, Smith is going to play at Marvel Stadium this week. All right, I really want to see how Smith handles Marvel Stadium. Okay, now I don't know if I'm going to rush to bring him in. And I'm still not sold. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm not going to rush to bring him in. Maybe I have to bring him in because I've got other players I have to take out. But looking at that heat map, most of us are along the wing. Then again, he's everywhere. On the ball. Not much in the forward line. I thought he'd spend more time in the forward line. Didn't spend much time. He spent it all along the wings. The wings, I don't like the wings, okay? At Geelong, the wings are probably a bit different because they're very narrow. So he gets more time in the middle there. I don't know what to say about Smith's game. I can't say it looks sensational because it didn't. Second half looked good. First half, it was very ordinary. Grubber kicks were getting him 8 points. A lot of, you can call it contested, okay? He was just he kicked the ball off the ground. If that's contested, well, then he gets 8 points for that because it's contested. He gets the 4 points for contested possession and also 4 points for the kick. They went along the ground and accidentally hit the toes of his teammates, so he gets an extra 4 points for that. So it was a very scrappy game, okay? I can say it that way, in the first half for his 75 points. And I'm still worried about him, okay? And for that reason, I'm not going to come out here and say he was unbelievable, okay? His score was unbelievable. It wasn't the best performance I've seen from a player. It was probably the worst 147-point performance I've ever seen, okay? The fact that he got that many, I'm shocked, okay? I was shocked because Holmes looked much better, okay? Holmes had, 24 touches. Holmes looked like a jet, hitting targets. Smith didn't hit one target in the first half, not one. He hit their toes with a soccer kick off the ground, hit their toes of his target. That was about it. Not even a hand pass hit his target. It went forward of the player who then got the ball. Okay, so it was still an effective disposal, but it didn't hit the target, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. Okay, Smith, I'm going to watch him again. Okay, I'm too scared to get him still. But the player that I do want to talk about is Sam de Koning. He looked good. Okay, now, Sam de Koning, okay, let's get over here. Similar to his brother had 28 touches. Sam de Koning had 25. In the ruck, 25 touches is a lot of touches. It's not normal. We saw Meek had 11, okay? So, in the previous game, didn't score much. De Koning only scored 109, though, with his 25 touches. Now, that is a concern. But with his ruck work, he only had 41% ruck work, okay? It was Blickhurst 34%, Jayden Neale 20%, Patrick Dangerfield 5%. Is this correct? And Jeremy Cameron 1%. It must be correct. I'm actually shocked, okay? So de Koning only had 41% ruck time. And if you say, well, he was against an easier opponent, well, you can't really say that because Jackson had 63% and Reedy had 37%. So Jackson was the main ruckman, Okay, so Reedy was second fiddle. So the Koning is not going to be that 80% ruckman. So where does he play? Okay, so if he's not going to be 80%, only 40%, where does he play is a question you may be asking me. Well, I can't give you an answer until I look. Just come it down. Okay, let's have a look. Where does he play to get all his touches from? Okay, where's his heat map? Now, this is like one of these Hitchcock mysteries that we're going to solve now, because if the Koning's got 41% ruck time, but when you go to his CBAs, he's got 82% CBAs. What's going on? Okay, how's this happening? Okay, now Blicavs here has got 18% CBAs. Okay, as a second ruckman. All right, but ruck contest Blicavs has got 34%. So here is how I'm getting an answer. Okay, I think when the ball's in a forward line, Shannon Neale is the ruck. Okay, so the Koning stays central in the midfield, because look at the Koning's heat map. Okay, let's get his heat map. Okay, you can see he's central, doesn't even go to the forward line. Okay, so in the forward line, the ruck is Shannon Neale. Okay, now in the midfield around here, the Koning has all the CBAs when he's on field, and along the boundary line, okay, this is what I'm thinking, or in defence, I'm not sure how it works, okay, because in defence, the ruckman is Blicavs, okay? You can see here, 18% there, but he's got more ruck time. Actually, that actually makes more sense. So, the Koning is ruckman in this arc here. That's it. He's not rucking anything in the forward line or anything in defence. They're sharing the ruck with 3 ruckmen, okay? We've solved the puzzle. Just come it down. Okay, now, I like this, because what it means is the Koning is also a kick behind play. So when there's a rush kick out from defence, okay, or from the opposition defence, he's there to take the intercept mark. How many marks did the Koning take? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at his stats now. Okay, where's the heat map? Okay, now this is making me very excitement now. The Koning marks, 6 marks. Well, you'd say they'd be pretty close to nearly all intercepts, 4 tackles. I like his role a lot. The fact that he's not moving forward, he's staying central, means that he's just in that arc, in that midfield arc. It's a very good arc to be in. It makes me very excited right now. Very, very excitement. Okay, just calm it down. Now, the next player we want to talk about is Max Holmes. Now, Max Holmes kicked 2 goals to get his 125. Okay, now Max Holmes probably has an 100 average. That's all I will expect from Max Holmes, probably that 100 average. So, Max Holmes is decent. I'm not sure if he's going to be a top 6, though, because his role is very similar to his role from last year, okay? And he averaged about 100 in that role. If you take a look, last year he was mid-wing. This year, kicked the 2 goals, though, so the 2 goals helps, but he's more mid-half-back, but it's still a good role, okay? So Max Holmes has a decent role, like I would say decent, okay? So maybe he can go better than last year, because actually, if you look at it, he's more mid than previous years. Okay, so previous years, let's go last year. Let's look for a GMHBA Stadium game. Okay, 121, that's a good game. Okay, last year, he was more mid-wing. This year, okay, heat map, he's more central. Okay, so it actually is decent. I like it a lot. Now, Nevitt, okay, I think as a rookie, must have at his price, 144k. He looks the goods. CBAs, 56%, that's enough. Okay, lock him in. He's playing, scoring at 0.89 points per minute. That's huge for a rookie. So I think Nevitt we have to lock in. Is there anyone else here that needs to be locked in from Geelong? O'Sullivan scored a 48. Kolajasny is going to come back soon. Okay, I think Kolajasny has that role. O'Sullivan might lose it, so I think job security is not solid with O'Sullivan. I'd pass, okay, on O'Sullivan. Let's now go to Freo. Now, at Freo, there's no point talking about Brayshaw or Sarong, except for the fact that they didn't score much. Okay, now they scored the 100 Supercoach points each. Let's just say it's an off game. On an off game, you score 100, still good enough. The problem is the opponent was Geelong, and they're not usually a very strong midfield team, so they should have done better. Okay, I think the owners were expecting more, but still a pass considering they got smashed. Okay, by 80 points. So Luke Jackson playing more up as a ruckman and only 91 Supercoach points is a worry. Okay, it's a big worry. 16 disposals. If you look at his heat map, and we've got Shrek gonna come back soon. This is a problem, I think, if you own him. He's going to be. I don't think he's highly owned this year compared to previous years, but he played more in mid. He played mainly on ball, and they still got beat. Okay, so I don't know what to think about it. Now, Jordan Clark is the same Jordan Clark as last year. Okay, nothing changed. 110 man. Okay, every week 110. Okay, so that's going to continue. Reed scored 50 Supercoach points. I couldn't work this out. Kicked 4 goals. Okay, had 13 disposals. Okay, he gave away a 50-meter penalty. Maybe he was on minus 8 points at half time or something. But still, he scored 4 goals. That has to give you some, because they were coming back. That has to give you something. Okay, but no, it didn't. Okay, so stuck on 50 points. It could be a slow burn if he's going to score that low, because you still got players to come back in. You got Bolton to come back in, and he played forward. Bolton's got that job, so they're not going to get rid of him because he kicked 4 goals. So he's going to be stay in that team, but he's not going to kick 4 goals every week. Going further down, Reedy is not good. Plus, we just saw he only got 30-something% ruck time, so the ruck time's not even there for him. So it is a pass, and that's pretty much it at Freo. Actually, no, there's Luke Ryan. Okay, now this was disappointment plus 68 Supercoach points. That is so bad. Okay, 620k. I think it was 630k. I'm not sure how much it costs. That is disaster. Maybe we watch him. Let's hope he continues this disastrous run so that we can grab him as a non-owner. But as an owner, for your sake, I hope he goes nuts. Okay, so how many kick-ins did he have? Let's have a look. He had 5 kick-ins. Now, that is a problem. Then again, there was 5, 7, 8, 9. Out of 9 kick-ins, he had 5 of them. So he didn't take all of them, same as last year. So maybe he was off the ground. I don't know. And our boy in defence, Clark, he had none. So that's a worry for Clark as well, because Clark usually takes a few of them. He had none of them. Ryan took 5, only 50% of it. So he only got 20 points from his kick-ins. It didn't get much on-field points. There wasn't much kicking the ball backwards, I think. The game plan might have changed for them. So Luke Ryan could be just a full-back now or a centre-half back. And points-wise, it may have dried up for him. The next game we're going to discuss is the Sydney and the Brisbane Lions, and it was a close game and some drama in this game because some players that are highly owned didn't do what they were supposed to do. So everyone, well, the owners were very upset. Just coming down. Now we go to Sydney and we go to the kick-in breakdown. And Nick Blakey, he's become a hog, okay? He's taking everything. Well, in this week... Start again. Okay. Now, we go to kick-ins, and we look at Nick Blakey. He's taken 7 kick-ins again. Elise Roberts this time took 3 kick-ins. But the funny one here, well, the interesting one is Riley Bice, okay? He took 3 kick-ins. From the rookie, just came on the field. Blakey didn't give Roberts any kick-ins, but decided that his mates, Bice, should get some. I couldn't work this out. So Bice had the 3 kick-ins. Roberts and Blakey shared the other 10. It didn't make any sense because why would Bice take the kick-ins? It's a good sign for Bice. So if he's going to take the kick-ins, he's going to be a massive rookie. So let's go through some of the scoring now. Okay, now, Heaney, 2 goals with his 103. Now, before we go to the goals, also let's check out the CBAs. Okay, who had the CBAs? Heaney was at 82%. Jordan was the next highest at 75 because he was a tagger. So Jordan is very deadly right now because Jordan tagged Day last week and Lachie Neale this week. Jordan, when we have our primos playing against Sydney, we're in big trouble. Okay, so also, if there are primos playing against Sydney and you don't own them, okay, you're going to start rubbing your head, licking your chops, just coming down. Now, Blakey, 105. She put the Supercoach scores up here. Blakey, the 105. Heaney, the 103. Let's go down. Roberts, the 95. Now, Roberts was giving me scaries, okay? Now, let's go have a look over here, quarter by quarter. Go to Roberts. He had a good first quarter, a good last quarter, a very average second and third quarter. We need Roberts to take these kick-ins, okay? So we're still happy that he's still scoring his. Well, these are fantasy points, okay, but still, it gives you an indication also of his super coach. Roberts was what I would call his borderline right now because last year he had a lot of the kick-ins. We need him to get these kick-ins to be a top 6. I don't think he's going to be a top 6. We're going to have to trade him out eventually because he's not going to give us the results that we're after. But for now, he's doing his job, so it's good enough because we need to get these rookies off the field as well, and Roberts is sort of helping with that. But these scores, put it this way, before we got to the last quarter, at 3/4 time, his score was very low, okay, and we were all worrying. But luckily in the last quarter, he came back. And let's go back to the whole team now. Let's forget about the quarter by quarters. Supercoach scores here. Now, we go further down. There's not many players that are relevant in Supercoach for us here. Warner, how did he go? Let's have a look. Well, we've got 2 Warners here, so I don't know which one's which, okay? But this Warner here scored the 78. Warner, if he gets DPP, okay, then maybe he'll get forward DPP because only had 54% in the midfield, so maybe he gets forward. So maybe we'll just keep an eye on him, and we're just happy that he's scoring badly right now. The other Warner, I'm not sure which one. This one is actually this is 37. So this is the rookie. Okay, this Warner here scored a 72. So it's a good deal, but unfortunately I don't have him. Okay, it's too late for me to get him because I'm going to get him and then probably trade him out again because he's not cheap. He's about 150, 160. Could even be. Let's check his price outs. Well, the Swans have 2 players here that are interesting. They got Hamling as well. He scored a 76, and he's 159k. Warner scored a 72, and he's 148k. So actually, Warner's not too expensive. Both of these are good options at them. We're going to check out Hamling's heat maps in a minute. We know where Warner played in the forward line, okay? But now he's played 2 games, averaging 122. So he scored a 50 odd in the first game. So it's not like he set the world on fire. He needs to go nuts in that forward line. But the interesting one is Hamling. I want to see where Hamling plays. So let's check him out now. Let's go back over here and have a look at Hamling. What did he do? Okay, well, where is Hamling? There he is here. Okay, now, Hamling, where did he play? Because this could be very interesting. I have a feeling it might have been half back, but I could be wrong. Heat map. Well, that's his role, half back. He didn't get many touches. Scored a 78 with only. How many touches did he have? For 1, 2, 3. He must have kicked a goal. Okay, how could he ever score that big with that kind of heat map? Okay, where's Hamling? Let's go over here. Actually, back over here. Hamling. What did he do? No goals. Okay, he only had 5 kicks and 6 handballs. Scored a 76. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, but anyway, he did really good. Okay, now he had 82% disposal efficiency, 1 tackle only, 11 touches for a 76. They were giving points away at this game. So, well, here's one to consider anyway. We can watch him again for another week. Okay, see how he goes. But the halfback role's not too bad for him. There's another boy here, Hanley. Now, He looked decent. Then he went quiet. Then he did okay. At the end, he scored the 47 Supercoach points. So it wasn't much. He looked much better than that. But he sort of hacked his kicks. You can see here, 26 fantasy points first quarter, only 6 in the second, 20 in the first. He had 2 big quarters and 2 very bad quarters. We just need to get one more game so I can trade him out because I got him in my team. I brought him in so I can make some cash. So see how it works. Now, Peyton was a problem. Okay, he looked decent. Okay, he scored 43 points, but half time he was actually doing really well. Okay, I think he got up to 48 and then scaled back down because he got subbed out. I couldn't work out why they subbed him out. But the player that subbed didn't actually look decent as well. Bice, he scored more. He scored nearly as much as actually he scored more. He scored more points than Peyton in one quarter. Took the 3 kick-ins as well. So Bice, if he gets job security, has impressed me a lot. But there's not much more to talk about at Sydney. Besides the fact that we have a tagger that's very deadly right now, we got the Lions and Dunkley. This is insane. Okay, now Dunkley, he just went nuts. Okay, let's have a look at his Supercoach. Actually, over here, Supercoach scoring. He's only 4% owned. Scored. It had 92% time on ground. Scored a 173. Where are they? How many tackles he got? 10 tackles. Hardball guess doesn't show here, but it was off the roof, through the charts. Let's have a look. Hardball contested possessions. Back over here. 16 contested possessions. Only 4 clangers. 27. It's not many touches. 27. I only had 130 Dream Team points. It wasn't like he went nuts with Dream Team, but on Supercoach, he was crazy. Okay, so and teams that are on top in the pecking order at Supercoach right now all had Dunkley, and he's the main reason why you're ranked very high if you've got Dunkley. So good start for the people that started him. Now going further down. Zorko, it's a big worry. Okay, now Zorko scored well. Okay, now as you go back over here, look at his first 2 quarters in fantasy, which is very similar to Supercoach scoring, sort of. Okay, but 20 and 17, so he wasn't really going crazy. From memory, in Supercoach, he was on 35 at half time. It was very bad. Then he moved to the forward line and went nuts. So which version of Zorko are we getting now? Okay, because we have some injuries here. Okay, who got injured? We got where are the injuries? Get back over here. It'll show us the injuries here. Brisbane Lions, because some players got injured. Brisbane Lions, who got injured? Okay, let's find them. We got Starcevic that got injured. Okay, but he's a defender, so that's not too bad. We got Lohman that got injured. Now he's a forward. Lohman, with the injury, what happens now? Who takes his spot? Okay, now it could be Zorko, or it could actually be up forward now. Levi Ashcroft could take his spot. So I'm not much of a Brisbane Lions know-it-all, so I can't really give you the answers. But maybe Ashcroft is the man that goes forward now. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad for him, but we'll see how that goes. But Lohman out does put worry on Zorko because of the fact that Zorko did this. Let's get over here. His heat map. He went nuts when he moved to the forward line. Okay, you can see here. Well, he's got defence moving up. I mean, that's his scoring, but he's also in the forward line, kicked 2 goals. So where does he play? I'd say he's going to stay in defence. That'll make common sense because he's a premiership defender right now. So hopefully he stays in defence for the owners. But if he moves forward, it's very scary. Okay, so I had this problem last year, so I didn't start him, and then I regretted it. So we'll see how that goes. Now, we spoke about Levi Ashcroft. I'm not sure about his role, but he's decent, okay, and he's cheap. So you have to get Levi Ashcroft. Will Ashcroft, on the other hand, I don't know, 21 touches for Levi. 25 for Levi, 21 for Will, and there's a 300k difference between the two of them. I'd rather get the Levi, okay, than the Will. So if you got Will Ashcroft, what are you going to do? Well, he's got a good draw coming up, so maybe just hold for now. But I don't think he's offering enough value. He's not going to. He needs to score these 110s, 120s to hold his value. So he makes me worry right now if I was an owner. So I don't know what to say now. Going further down, is there anyone else of interest? Well, there is one, Lachie Neale, 41 Supercoach points. It's unheard of. And mind you, Lachie Neale had 24 at a quarter time. Okay, so the next 2 quarters, he didn't touch the ball. I've never seen Lachie Neale not touch a ball in 2 quarters of footy. Uh, I worry as an owner, but you can't trade him out because the draw's so good. The reason you brought in Lachie Neale and paid the big bucks was for his draw. So you're going to have to hold him and ride the wave now because the draw is so good, so easy. It's going to open up big time. But we just don't want to see it. You don't want to see a tag on him. The non-owners are licking their chops because they want to see more tags. Greedy guts don't want to get him cheap. Okay, that's what. This game is like vultures, okay? You got the vultures like myself that are looking for Lachie Neale to get tagged. Then you got the suffering owners that are hoping that he goes nuts. So it's sort of a two-way perspective when you look at Lachie Neale. Some are hoping he goes nuts. Some are hoping he fails. So anyway, I'm hoping that he gets tagged, okay? So I'm greedy guts. Oh, I want to get him cheap. Just come it down. And with the kick-ins, Zorko didn't actually take all of them. He only took 4, so he didn't gain many points from his kick-in. So he could have actually gone even further or more nuts. Okay, so but that's probably because he moved forward, so that actually wouldn't make sense. With the CBAs, besides your ruck, McCluggage was the number 1. Dunkley and Neale were second, and Will Ashcroft had 50%. Take note that Levi didn't actually have any CBAs at all, no midfield time. So Levi was playing more up in the wing forward line, so and still scored well. So it's a good sign for Levi that he actually scored decent. We now go over to North Melbourne versus the Dogs. Okay, now Bailey Dale, the con artist, okay, he kicked 2 goals, scored a 127. Now, he's not going to always kick 2 goals. So that 127, take the 2 goals out, and it's more like a 100, okay, because we've probably got maybe a 108, 105, around there. It's decent, but it's not top 10. I know, I had him last year. He caught me in. So it's okay. It's a pass this week, but he's not going to always kick these 2 goals. Liba did what Liba does, 120. The weapon, Ed Richards, 1% owned. Nobody has him. Okay, he's all mine. Okay, now scored a 119. Started like a house on fire. Okay, if you go quarter by quarter fantasy, what is it? Fantasy by quarter. Where is he? Richards started like a house on fire. Scored the 41 fantasy points. Second quarter, he sort of went quiet. Had a big third quarter again. Then in the last quarter, went quiet. We got to keep in mind it was a very hot day. Okay, they were exhausted. They couldn't walk. Now going further down, the player of interest is Fraser. Okay, everyone's asking about Fraser. Now, Fraser in the first 2 quarters. Okay, you can see here 13 and 17. And the next 2 quarters are 33 and a 40. He moved to the midfield. The problem is at the Dogs. Okay, let's get it back over here. Let's bring this up over here. Look at the injuries for the Dogs. All right, we're going to go look at the injuries. And they lost O'Donnell, okay, and Cleary. They lost 2 of them. 2 defenders went down. More so, Cleary is the problem. I mean, he had a terrible... it was really bad. But the problem is, does Fraser now stay in that midfield, or does he move back to defence? Because he started in defence. If you have a look at the back over here. Okay, actually, let's shut down some of these windows. Okay, windows. Okay, let's go to CBAs for the Bulldogs. Okay, CBAs. Where are they? Okay, now Fraser had 36% CBAs. Now we were told by the Wolf. Okay, he told us. Okay, that Fraser's been training in the midfield. So, and we didn't know if it was midfield or wing. But he did mention that he's going to get some inside mid as well, and he got it, 36%. But does he stay there, or does he go back to defence? That's the question. So take note, Ed Richards, 82%, the number one midfielder, and then Aliba as well, 79%. So both of them, the top. English, only 76. It's actually quite surprising. I thought he would have more, but it was a hot day, so we'll give him that. Darcy had a 24. Now, back to the live scoring, okay? Let's go to the heat maps. Let's turn this out. Let's have a look at Fraser's heat map, okay, because this is going to be interesting. Because in defence, he didn't score as much as when he went to that midfield. He started at full back, okay? You can see here, he's got the defence, then the midfield. If he keeps this midfield role, it's massive, okay? But we know that Trelaw's coming back. We know that the Bond's going to come back, but they're going to take a while to come back, so you may get some points out of him, so, and some dollars. So the question becomes, do you bring him in? Okay, well, I'm still hesitant because of those injuries, so I'm happy to watch him for one more week. And then if he does the same thing again this week, then next week I most likely will bring him in. So I'll be very interested in bringing him in. Now going back to the midfield and Sanders, it's actually quite a disappointing game. 15 disposals. He actually had CBAs. If you have a look here, he had 42%. He had more than Fraser, but Sanders didn't do it. So. And Kennedy went well, and only had the same as Sanders, but Kennedy went really well. Sanders, I don't think, is up to it yet with the big boys. Probably another year to develop for Sanders. His body is not as strong as some of these other big-bodied players, so I didn't like what I saw from Sanders. Things that passed for me. Now, English, the most disappointing player was English, 58. That was a shock. Okay, now he only had 79% time on ground. So most of his time on ground was spent in the ruck. I mean, it was a hot day, but a 58 for a 600k player, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And it's not like, well, he was up against Sherry, so Sherry is a good ruckman, but still, it's not good enough. Davidson was disappointing, but it was more his disposal efficiency than anything else because he still scored 53 fantasy points, but it was his Supercoach scoring that let him down. And Dolan, which is a rookie, scored a 26, so I don't think he made it. He did enough either. We now go to North Melbourne, and Sherry did what Sherry does, okay? But for the owners, they probably were expecting more out of Sherry because he's playing against a ruckman that doesn't do that well with hit out. So Sherry should have dominated. Usually Sherry goes 150s against English, so he actually scored unders for the expectations because this was his easiest matchup. So now that his draw gets tougher. Simkin was impressive, very impressive. 30 disposals, 20. I mean, consistent basis. Simkin looked really good. I owned Simkin last year. He didn't look this good, okay? He had a couple of good games, but in this particular game, he looked really, really good. Now, let's go further up here. Cheezels scored the 106, okay? But I don't know. I captained him. I was expecting a lot more than this from Cheezels, okay? Now, if you go to CBAs, who had them? Cheezels only had 52% CBAs, okay? It wasn't that many. Cheezels, if you look at his heat map, okay, maybe, but he can't get any DPP because he's already got DPP, I think. Okay, it's because he started on a half forward line, and that was Cheezels. Okay, he was everywhere. Okay, bit of half back, bit of half forward. I mean, he was a follower. That's what they call the role of the follower, the old term. Okay, I'm not sure if they still call that now, but he was everywhere. But didn't score enough, okay? So we expect 120s from Cheezels. That's why we paid the big bucks for him. Well, that's why I paid it anyway, but didn't get it. Just calm it down. Going to see what he could do next week. Hopefully he improves. I mean, you're going to keep him, but we didn't get him to score 106s. Now, going further down, LDU scored the 88s. That's what LDU does, okay? as an ex-LDU owner, I know what LDU does. He can go 150, but needs to have uh, these last 5 minute big bonus points to get his big scores. So LDU, the 88, he's in my never again list, LDU. I want to get him again. He's a hard watch as an owner, okay? So I like players like Cheezels that have 30 touches a game. Simpkin is the interesting one. Now, let's go further down. Caleb Daniel, 81. I mean, he did get 91 fantasy points, okay? He had 24 disposals. Maybe he's not going to be finishing as a top 6 as we assumed from the start, but maybe he still will because still at the 7 kick-ins, still at 24 touches. Okay, it's not that bad of a game. Okay, so we'll keep our eye on Caleb Daniel, but we need him to get up to 30 touches a game. Okay, so 24, but it was a hot day, so it was round 1. Okay, we'll give him some excuses. Okay, so let's watch him. Okay, I mean, the last thing I want to do is trade him out at 400k. Okay, I want to keep him all year and hopefully he's going to stay in our teams. But if he's going to average 80, he's going to go up to 400k, and that's when we're going to have to trade him out for someone better. So let's see how he goes. Now, going further down, Constanti, okay, scored a 74. Where did he play? I didn't even notice him. Okay, now I know he played a bit of forward line, I think. Let's have a look. Constanti. Well, he did. He played in the forward line. He didn't have many touches. So it's a tough role, okay? So there's going to be weeks where he scores a 40, okay? So he's either going to go 70s or 40s. They're all going to have the same. All these small forwards do the same thing, okay? So get a couple of snags, okay, or goals. I don't usually use the term snags, but he snagged a few of them. Anyway, Parker, disappointing, and I expected this from him because he needs 80% CBAs, Parker does, to score well. He didn't get that, okay, 69%. McKercher, in the first half, he looked like a must-have, okay? In the second half, he went missing, so I don't know what McKercher's role is, so it's a bit of half-forward. I passed on him, okay? He's probably a pass. Awkward price. Finn O'Sullivan had the 16 touches, okay, but only scored 51 points. It's not enough. He's going to make cash, but he's not going to make a lot of cash if he scores at 51s. So if you've got him, hold him for another week, see how he goes. If he's not doing it, then you're going to have to upgrade him. And that's pretty much it. Now we go to Collingwood and Port Adelaide. This game shocked me. I was not expecting this, okay? A 90-point smashing. Where did this come from? Port Adelaide's supposed to be top 4 this year, okay? That's not going to happen. They're going to really struggle without Butters. Now, Collingwood, there's not many players that are Supercoach relevant here, okay? However, the ones that are let us down, okay? Well, besides Dacos, which we know still had 26. It was tagged, okay? 26 touches, scored the 88, okay? That's Josh Dacos. Where's Nick Dacos? Okay, I don't get it over here. Nick Dacos scored more. Okay, there he is. 26 touches for Nick Dacos. Scored the 98. 630k. Last week he scored a 60 or 70. This week a 98. This is trouble, okay, for the owners. They'll be starting. We talked about Lachie Neale and licking our chops. We're actually licking our chops as non-Dacos owners as well because he's 30% owned. The other 70% are going to be like vultures. They're waiting for him. They're going to jump on him, okay? That's what's going to happen. Let's check out Dacos' price projection. Well, he has a break even of 188 now, okay? So he's on the bubble this week with a big break even, 188. His upcoming matches, well, he won't get tagged this week against the Dogs, okay? So he should be able to do something. But if he scores a 108, he's going to lose 35k. Now, let's get this projection working. Against Carlton, if he scores a 98, then he's got Sydney coming up, a big tag, okay? Then, oh my God, okay, just come it down. Okay, we've got the big tag from Sydney coming in round 5. So if against Sydney, because we saw what Sydney, if he goes 80 against Sydney, let's say he scores a 108 against Carlton, and they may actually tag him as well. So if he scores a 108 there, but 80 here, possible tag from Brisbane Lions as well, if they use a tagger on him. So 104. Let's leave it at 104. Then a possible tag out from Essendon, because Essendon also tag. He's got 3 tags back to back coming, and then all of a sudden he plays Geelong, who may also tag him. Just come a deal. So if we just do a projection here, well, the Essendon game, let's give him a 90 tag coming there. The Brisbane Lions game, let's say he goes a 104. Okay, let's say against Geelong he doesn't get tagged, goes 120. Okay, and then starts going nuts. Okay, he's going to go nuts around here. Okay, so round 7, round 8, round 9, round here. Right, let's project what he's going to be. Okay, and the projection is not work. Okay, something happened. I think it's not work no more. Okay, I think they bugged it. Okay, we can't use the projection anymore. Okay, something happened. Just come a deal. Now, even though I went down to Nick Dacos, the boy I should be talking about is Dan Houston. Now, let's check out Collingwood's kick-ins. Who had all these kick-ins at Collingwood? Because this is going to be very interesting. How many did Dan Houston have? Because he scored really well. And he actually didn't have many. Okay, he only had 3 kick-ins. Mind you, there wasn't many kick-ins all up. There was about 6, 8, 9 kick-ins all up. He had 33% of them. So 3 kick-ins for Dan Houston. But Dan Houston at Collingwood, it actually suits him more to play there than it did at Port Adelaide, because he actually went nuts. He owns the back line. Now let's have a look at his heat map. You can see he's everywhere. Okay, he's got a license to roam at Collingwood. Dan Houston could possibly even end up being D1 this year. That's how good he is, I think. But we get to see another week of him. Okay, we'll watch him for another week, and then we decide. But this could be the cheapest we actually see Dan Houston at $575K if he does the same thing one more time. Now, I want to talk about Long. I looked at his heat map. It's insane. Okay, Long's heat map is unbelievable. It's one of the best rookie heat maps I've seen in a long time. When I say rookie, he's actually not a rookie, but he's rookie priced. He's scored a 113. That's his heat map. He's 200K. I don't know if he's got this job security or not. That's the only thing that's bugging me right now. I'm going to find out on Twitter today. I'm going to ask a lot of questions to these Collingwood supporters, because he looks insane at 200K. Almost a must-have. He's on the bubble this week. If you can do this again every week, he's a must-have. Okay, so even if he scores 90s, he's going to be one of these must-haves. So we're going to find out. We're going to ask all the tough questions on Twitter today. The biggest disappointment this week for me was Harry Perryman. It was more disappointing than actually watching Lachie Neale, because Lachie Neale, at least he was tagged, okay, in a previous game. Perryman, he's a 900K player, almost $1 million a year. You get a player $1 million a year, and you use him as a tagger. It's unbelievable, okay? What is his role? Has his role changed? CBAs. Let's have a look at Collingwood CBAs. Let's get over here. Okay, well, where's the CBAs? I think I've deleted it. Okay, let's get over here. AFL and CBAs. Okay, Collingwood CBAs. They cost 68%. Pendlebury 29%. Perryman only 42% CBAs. Last week 52%. I didn't pay up for Perryman to only get 42% CBAs and to be a tagger. He was tagging the horny man all game. So it's the most disappointing thing. I got this one so wrong. Okay, now he's out of my team. I could have just got instead of getting the Perryman. Tagging the horny man, okay, I could have just picked up Smith at a cheaper price in a different position. So he disappointed me so much. So he's got the sack. I can't keep him in my team. He's going to go. And is there anyone else here at Collingwood that we should be discussing? That's pretty much it at Collingwood. Let's go to Port Adelaide now. Now, this is worth talking about because of how bad they were. Okay, now, who benefits at Port Adelaide? Which defenders are taking the kick-ins? Let's take a look at the kick-ins. Well, they got Farrell, Burton, and Sin. Now, if you got Farrell and Burton taking the kick-ins, last year it was Farrell, Burton, and Houston. That means that Sin has got Houston's role, okay? But going by this, okay, now, I don't know, I'm going to check out his scoring now, because I didn't watch this game, but if Sin has got 3 kick-ins, he's got Houston's role, because Finlayson, I'm not sure about, I don't know, I didn't watch this game, like I said, I don't know enough about this game, but Rosie, 35 disposals, I'm just happy that I got him, okay? 35 touches is awesome, so forget about Rosie. Forget about Farrell, because Farrell's got his same role as last year. What is Sin doing? What did Sin do? 59. Okay, so is it not good? Okay, 220k is a pass. The horny man, you scored the 83, but he had 25 touches. That's good enough. Okay, must have had an off game. Kicked the goal. He's still don't panic about the horny man. Okay, he's gonna get nuts. He's gonna go nuts soon. Now, is there anyone here of any interest for us? I can't see them. Okay, if there is, I can't see him. Well, Joe Berry, 38 Supercoach points. I mean, 140k with a team that's got smashed by 90 points. What do you expect for him to score? He wasn't going to go nuts. Pal Pepper, 8 disposals, 18 points, 180k. Absolute con artist. Now they play Richmond next week, so maybe, this week, so maybe these players can score more. But you should have seen enough out of Pepper. I mean, Pepper scores an 80 this week. Are you going to be excited because you know that he can also score an 18? So I'm not sure. I would sack Pal Pepper straight away. I wouldn't wait. I don't care who he plays this week because he's also grandpa status. Doesn't get the mid minutes. Okay, let's have a look at this midfield minutes. Who got the CBAs down there? Let's have a look at Port Adelaide. Okay, now we have the Horny Man 77. We got Rosie 68, Drew 68, and Wine 61. They're nobody else. Okay, even Pepper didn't even appear in the CBAs. People saw him on their team sheets, CBA, they got excited. It was a con. They all got conned in. So I'd say complete pass. Joe Berry only one CBA, so they must have tried something out with him. We now move over to the Adelaide and the St Kilda game. Now in this game, we had another tagger. Where is he? Winhager, another tagger. He tagged. Where is he? Was our boy here that got tagged? Actually, Dawson. There he is there. Now Dawson had an awesome. Let's have a look at quarter by quarter fantasy scoring points. Dawson. Where's Dawson? Dawson started well, got tagged, finished well. Dawson, even though he got tagged, still did decent. Okay, so if you're a Dawson owner, you should still be happy. The only thing is if you look at the CBAs at Adelaide, all right, let's go to Adelaide CBAs. We got Matt Crouch at 80%. Wow, that's huge. 80% for Matt Crouch. Dawson at 60%. Saligo at 51%. Peatling at 43% and Rankin at 37%. Actually, Rankin's quite low. I thought Rankin was going to get higher than this, okay? So I'm actually shocked. Peatling 43 is disappointing. We would have expected a lot more. And Draper got 26%, so they put him in there in the last quarter, pretty much full-time mid. So let's check out the scoring now. All right, actually, let's go to that. Well, kick-ins doesn't matter for Adelaide. We're not really interested in the kick-ins at Adelaide. So Rankin, 128, is a jet, okay? Saligo, very consistent throughout the game. 29 touches. Rankin, 28 touches. Scored is 114, so Saligo is very good. If you've started him, you're very happy. If you haven't started him, it's too late, okay? So I wouldn't go to get him in, but he did do well. Now, maybe if he does the same thing again this week, maybe you do jump on him. So it's not too late. So we'll find out. Now, going further down, who impressed? Well, Dawson, 103, 550k. You expecting more. He got tagged, so don't worry about Dawson. He'll do well. The problem with Dawson is his heat map as well. He's not getting those. He's not the full-time mid there. His heat map shows it. You can see it here. It's pretty much. Actually, where is it? Where's his heat map? Well, he is midfield. Actually, it's quite decent. A bit of wing. The same similar to last year. This is where he played last year, all last year. Wing and midfield. So he hasn't changed it. And it's always this left-hand wing because his left footer kicks the ball straight down the guts. Going further down, is there anyone of interest? And there's Peatling, scored the 67. Pretty close to one of the worst players on the ground, okay? You got but underneath, you only got 4 players underneath him. Milera, another disappointment, 58. Draper, in one quarter, scored 27 Supercoach points, 37 fantasy points. If there is a rookie that's going to be a must-have out of all the rookies, I think Draper is the best one, especially getting those mid-minutes. He's a mini version of Virtue Rankin. Okay, Draper is. I don't know how to describe him. He's a ball magnet. 8 disposals in the last quarter. So he looked the goods, Draper did. I wish Richmond had him as well. I wish Richmond had a lot of players, but I can't be greedy, Gus. We got one of the good ones as well. So, but Draper, he's a jet. I can see Draper making 200k, no problems, if he gets full-time time on. Let's say this week, all right? If this week Draper is named to play on field, the following week it's going to be interesting who you're going to bring in into your rookies. I think Draper could be one of them that we need to bring in. Now, we're going to skip on Adelaide, okay? I've got Matt Crouch here, scored the 84, which is disappointing with so much time, midfield minutes, but let's skip on Adelaide here, and let's go to St Kilda. Now, Wanganeen Milera, 27 disposed. Actually, before we go here, let's look at the kick-ins at St Kilda. Who had the kick-ins? Get us Saints. The kick-ins, they pretty much shared it, okay? And interesting to note, Sinclair only had 2, Milera 3, Wilkie 1, Webster 1. So Milera didn't own the kick-ins. And by not owning the kick-ins, it affected his scoring because he needs to have a lot of kick-ins to go nuts. Even Schoenmaker had 1. If we go to CBAs, who are the CBAs at St Kilda? All right, let's check this out. It was mainly 3 players, besides the ruck, Boyd, who was rucking all day. Steele and McRae owned it, and then a mixture of players. You had a bit of Garcia, Hunter Clark in the last quarter when he came on. He was a sub when he came on. You had Winhager, you had Sinclair a little bit, Zach Jones, even Ron Marshall as the second ruckman because Boyd was the first ruckman. Marshall was forward. Even Wanganeen Milera, 1 appearance. However, Hugo Garcia is a disappointment as well. Let's go to St Kilda. Let's go to the team. There's a lot to talk about from St Kilda now. McRae, Jets. Okay, McRae very happy. Sinclair 95. I don't think he did enough for his price. Milera, I don't think he did enough. Okay, going further down. Marshall 82. Marshall could become forward DPP once they get all their team back. Okay, once their forwards come back, Marshall can go into the ruck. Marshall could be one of these big forwards in our team. We've got to get him in once he gets DPP. Steele was very disappointing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. 19 disposals. I was expecting Steele to be one of the top 4 mids this year. This is way off what I expected. Then again, when I saw Steele with a good midfielder in the team, I actually thought it was going to be to his benefit, but actually it's worse because now McRae is taking his points, and a mate of mine pointed this out to me, and he said to me, before I even picked up Steele, he said, look, when Steele has good midfielders around him and he's not the number 1 midfielder, he actually loses points. So, and this is what happened. Okay, so luckily he's not highly owned. Schoenmaker scored a 66. He's an awkward price, so he's going to be a pass. Boyd is a steal at his price. Scored a 63. Full-time ruck, 99k. So if you don't have Boyd, you got to get him in, okay? He's going to make some serious cash. Just hopefully he plays at least 5 or 6 games. Now, going further down, Garcia, what a disappointment. Okay, 18 disposals for 54. He must have kicked off his shins. He actually had a good last quarter. Take the last quarter out, he was a disaster zone. Hasty looked so good in the first quarter. He went quiet in the second quarter, then got subbed out. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. So Hasty went out of the team. Half time nearly. Still scored 53 Supercoach points. He was going to score a lot of points, but I hope he's got job security. I hope they let him play again next week. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he was too tired. I don't know. But if he's out, we've got to trade him out as well. Now going further down, that's pretty much O'Connell is a no good 28. Hall, where's Hall? Okay, let me find him. He's here somewhere. Okay, Hall, I can't find him. Okay, there he is. There, scored a 74. He looked decent, especially in a team that got smacked. Okay, he looked decent, and I think he's going to be a good scorer. His job security is probably solid as well. But there are some players to come back to that team, so we're not sure. Does he get 5 games, 6 or 7 games? I don't know. They've got quite a few to come back, so I couldn't tell you if his job security is that strong with 7 back-to-back games. But maybe he's got a good 4 or 5 games in him, so we'll see how that goes. We now go to the Melbourne and the GWS game, and this was a close one, 3 points. So when you get a close game, a lot of scaling happens towards the end of the game. Okay, usually players that touch the ball last, if they touch the ball and it's effective, they earn a lot of points. But if they touch the ball and it's ineffective, they lose a lot of points. So the scaling goes off the roof in the last 5 or even the last 3 minutes, especially the last minute. Okay, now with that in mind, Gawn playing against a Ruckman that, well, there wasn't even a Ruckman. Okay, scored a 129. I'll be honest, I was nervous watching Gawn, okay, and I didn't own him, and as a non-owner, I was expecting a 190, 200 from Gawn in this game. It didn't happen. 129. That is only 83% time on ground. That is so disappointing. Okay, as an owner, 660k, and you're getting this, you'd be so upset. Okay, this was the big game you got him for. Going further down, Petrarca, he scored the 98, kicked the 2 goals, had a lot of CBAs. If you have a look at Melbourne CBAs, okay, let's go CBAs Melbourne. The interesting thing here is Petrarca's at number 1, Oliver at number 2, Viney at number 3. It's Sparrow that's at number 4. Okay, where did he come from? Okay, how does Sparrow get the 4th midfield minutes? Rivers at number 5. Langford, it was a sub. It only took 2. See, Aidan Johnson went into the ruck, had 2. Ed Langdon only appeared 1, and they said Ed Langdon was going to play in the CBA, so that didn't happen. Rivers only 8 times. Sparrow 9 times. Anyway, let's get back over here now. Lindsay looked like a winger, scored 86. Now, the wingers don't normally score that much, okay? So that's a big score for a winger. Expect 70s from him, okay? But that's still good enough. So Lindsay with an 86, job security is solid. It's actually rock solid. So Lindsay is going to be one of these rookies that's going to make us a lot of cash, okay? So he's going to be one of these must-haves. Going further down, Oliver, 25 touches, 93. Okay, now if you go to his breakdown, okay, quarter by quarter, and Oliver, okay, where's Oliver? I can't even find him here, okay, I'm going blind. Okay, where's Oliver here? First half, he started well, 29, 23 fantasy points. Second half, he faded. These conditions, I mean, only 83 fantasy points. These conditions suit Oliver. Oliver is made for the wet, okay? If ever Oliver was going to go 130, it was this game. It's given me red flags already. I don't like having red flags, but Oliver made me very nervous, okay? Making me very scared right now. I'm actually thinking of sacking him, okay? Maybe not this week, maybe next week, but maybe even this week. I haven't decided how upset I am yet, but he's going to get the sack, I think Oliver is. Now, going further down, let's have a look. Is there anyone else? Well, there's Johnson. Okay, scored a 60. Second ruck. I think he's out in our 113k. I have him in my team. I actually quite like him. So Johnson is not bad. Okay, I don't mind Johnson. We got Jefferson scored the 41. I don't think that's enough. Okay, so Jefferson maybe, but Henderson at 99k scored a 55. So a few good rookies here at Melbourne. Okay, now Langford only 18. It was a sub, so unfortunately, maybe if he's a sub of 3 or 4 more games, his price will drop. We'll just pick him up cheaper later on as a downgrade option. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. Now let's go to GWS. Let's go back to the CBAs at GWS. Okay, GWS CBAs. Also going to look at the kick-ins. Okay, first the CBAs. Now Callahan 69%. Lachie O'Keefe was the main ruckman. Okay, Gordon played against Lachie O'Keefe and he scored a 130. That's a shock. Now, Tom Green, 73. Toby Bedford, 73. And Josh Kelly. So that's your 1, 2, 3. That's your 4 midfielders, okay? They're locked in. They're pretty much sharing it. And Toby Green is the 5th one. Callahan looks so good, okay? He is so... I haven't seen a midfielder look that balanced when he's running with the ball. He looks like he's been playing for 10 years. For me, he could end up being a keeper, okay? Even though he's got a 104, it doesn't look like much. 31 touches. He actually hacked the ball this week, okay? He could have gone much higher than 104 if he had a couple of good disposals. So keep in mind, it was a wet game. Callahan impresses me a lot. I really like the kid. Whitfield scored the 128. Very quiet first half. Came back to game second half and had a big influence on the game. Scored the 128. We expect it from Lachie Whitfield. Okay, so Whitfield's always going to go nuts. We didn't start in because he got that second bye. Cause I didn't want to pick Callahan and Whitfield and cop 2 plays on a bye this week. So I passed on Whitfield. If he didn't have the bye, I would have picked him up well ahead of Sheasels. Going further down, Lockie Ash looked like he was a con artist if you got him in. And he didn't do much. 80 kick-ins. Okay, who took these kick-ins? Let's have a look. GWS. Where are they? GWS. Okay, Whitfield took 4 of them. Himmelberg took 3 of them. And Lockie Ash only took 1. Okay, so Lockie Ash got robbed. And I did say this last week that Whitfield moved positions because he had that cramp, which is why Lockie Ash's scoring looks so good. But then again, Whitfield got back his role now, and you can see he's gone nuts in it. Now, is there anyone else that's Supercoach relevant here? Okay, I'm trying to find them. Connor Stone only had 1 good quarter. Luckily for us, that good quarter, he scored a 42. Okay, but besides that, he was a no good. Okay, didn't do much. He fumbled a lot. Leak is going to be a spud rookie, I think. 13, playing in the forward line now. We assumed that he's going to play a bit of midfield, but now that Tom Green's back, so if you got Leak, maybe cash out on him this week. Actually, he's not even playing this week. Can't even cash out on him. So I'd trade him out, okay, and look for someone better, I think, because he's going to be a dead cow in your defence. Now, going to the last game, we've got West Coast against the Gold Coast. Okay, this is the game of the Coasters. Now, get over here, at West Coast, okay, I'm getting questions on Baker. My friends are asking, should we get Baker in? The answer is no, okay, don't get Baker in. Baker's going to be Mr. Fix-It, so only 21 touches. He's going to score the odd 1-2, the odd 80, the odd 70, the odd 120. So Baker's scoring is going to fluctuate. Good for draft. That's about it with Baker. Matt Flynn. Now, if we go quarter by quarter, okay, Matt Flynn, quarter by quarter, he didn't do much he didn't do much for the whole game, okay? He was up against a strong Ruckman. The problem with Matt Flynn is he only had 13 disposals. We see Ruckman have 25, 26 disposals. Flynn only had 13. He also kicked a goal. Take that goal out with a contested mark. Flynn's Supercoach scores around about the 75 mark. That's way unders, okay? Now, the Governor, well, he didn't do much either. Scored an 86. Expecting a bit more from the Governor. So not sure if he's going to be a top 6 this year as well, because he's missing his mate in defence. Now he's sort of more locked down than what he wants to be. I don't think Governor can do it this year, similar to what he did last year. Going further down, is there anyone that's a Supercoach relevant? There's not many players at West Coast that are Supercoach relevant. There's Reed, okay, the second ruckman, scored 44. It's okay, I suppose, just an average score. Not sure about his job security. Harley Reid, it was a disappointing game, but he'll bounce back. But he shouldn't be in any of our teams, Harley Reid. Dewar is a bit expensive, but scored 27. Who else is there? There's Hewitt, only 11 touches. For a midfielder, for a whole game, 11 touches. That's disappointing. 52, it could even be sub-risk the way he played. 52 points. There isn't much here to talk about with West Coast. I don't even know if Flynn is going to be playing next week. He got smashed, absolutely smashed. Okay, so he was up against a tough ruckman, but he's got another tough ruckman this week again. So what are they going to do? Let him go up against another ruckman? They got smashed, 100 points nearly. So I don't know what they're going to do, Flynn. You got. The coach said they're going to put the ruckman in as the number one ruckman, the player that's informed the most. Well, we just saw what Flynn did, so he's not that much informed. So who else is? They don't have much to choose from anyway. But I don't know. Okay, I'll be a very nervous Flynn owner right now. Now, if we go to the Gold Coast, they have a few players that are Supercoach relevant. Rowell, some people have the weapon. The weapon always scores well against West Coast. He dominates them. Okay, and he did it again. 137. He actually looks a lot fitter than last year, and last year he looked fit as well, so could be back to last year's form, okay, then drop off and then continue again. Took Miller, 128, keep an eye on Took Miller, this is why, okay, now Took Miller only had 55% CBAs, and he played a lot of his game in the forward line, okay, so you can see here, Took Miller started forward, he may get DPP, if he gets DPP, he's going to end up being a top 6 forward in our teams. So, you got Tookmill, you got Marshall, you got 2 of them now. They're both going to be must-haves. Okay, I think 100% if he's a forward, he's going to be a must-have. So keep an eye on him till round 6 because of CBAs. Okay, let's go over here, Gold Coast CBAs. Rowell had 77, Anderson 74, Tookmiller 54. So Tookmiller was the third midfielder, but shared that duty with a lot of players, with Humpty. I thought it was going to be Rowell sharing it with Humpty, but it was actually Tookmiller sharing it with Humpty. So Rowell gets more that. Well, the Coach Hardwick lied to us. Coach Hardwick said that Rowell's going to play a bit more forward this year, so that didn't happen. So it looks like it's going to be Took Miller that's going to play more forward. Rowell going to continue his midfield minutes. And Ethan Reid is a rookie, 16 CBAs. Looks like he's going to be the second ruckman. This is interesting, okay? Have a look at this now with Ethan Reid. But keep in mind, he kicked a lot of goals, okay? Now, Ethan Reid's not going to kick this many goals every week, so this won't happen every week, all right? But Ethan Reid, if I can find him, there he is there. 100 Supercoach points, all right? That's massive. He had a big influence on the game early on. But as I said, that's not going to happen every week. But if it does it again this week, he's about 170, 180 off memory. I'm not exactly sure how much. He's not cheap. He's not a 120K, but still, if he scores 100 and 100 again, he's going to make some serious cash. So you've got to keep in mind Ethan Reid now. However, I think there are better options, especially if he scores a 60, so probably going to be a pass at his price. Supercoach relevance, we've got Anderson. Where is he? Anderson over here. 36 disposals. And this was a game away. But they didn't tag him, okay? I couldn't believe West Coast didn't tag. West Coast, they didn't tag. So looks like McQualter's not going to use taggers. which means that the Lions are going to go nuts this week. Okay, so if you're a Lions fan, you are licking your chops. If you've got Lachie Neale in your team, you know that McQualter doesn't tag, okay, because he didn't tag anyone here. And if anyone's tagged, it was usually Anderson. He wasn't tagged. So we can expect a big game from all the Lions midfielders this week. Now, going further down, there's nobody else here to talk about. I don't think so. Okay, no, there's nobody. I mean, they got last year's heroes, but they're not this year's heroes, and that's pretty much it. And there's Humpty as well, but Humpty didn't. It's awkward price. Humpty is, so I think he's a part. He looked good in the first half, and then he actually Humpty scored a 104. Okay, I can't believe this. Well, maybe he is watchable. So 104 is 250k. We'll keep an eye on Humpty for another week as well. Now, before we end this episode, I've got a big thank you here to make, and that's to this man over here, a young man at 86 ECJ. He donated me $100. That's massive. And he says here, Abs, I can't calm her down. We have a similar structure, and I think once we stop eating at Nando's and boot the peri chicken, okay, man things, will start to look much better, okay? Happy with the weapon, Nank, Richards, and dodging the 200k rookie traps. I think special fried bice will be a popular in next week. I think he's right here. And here's some funds for you to buy the best food processor you can to find at Aldi, so you get chum some spuds into mash. I just want to say thank you very much. It's a very, very generous offer, and I really appreciate this. Okay, so once again, a big thank you to this young man. And that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.